going on, everybody? Jordan from Fit Grind. Today we're going to go over how to clean your barbell. So in the Rogue Barbell Guide, we talked about a lot of different barbells. We talked about how you also need to clean your barbell. So that's something we're going to go over today, especially if you have a bare steel bar that's going to need a little more upkeep. This video is going to be for you. Before we get started, these are our Fit Grind men's performance shorts and performance shirt, available at fitgrindapparel.com. I will leave the link in the description if you want to check us out. But we have a full men's line and women's line. So if you're looking for good apparel for the gym, check us out, fitgrindapparel.com. Let's get started with the video. All right, so hopping into the video. Here we have a Rogue B&R bar. So this is a bar that gets a lot of use here. Like we talked about in the Rogue Barbell video, this is a bare steel bar. So this bar or any other bare steel bar is going to have more upkeep. So going to be a perfect example of how you can see there's some oxidation, there's some chalk, some leftover chalk from the last workout in there. I'm going to show you how to get all that out and then pretty much take away most of the rust. Now, just because it's a bare steel bar doesn't mean that you don't have to upkeep your other barbells, whether it's a Cerakote coating or an E-coat or whatever coat finish that you have on your bar. You still need to upkeep with it. You just won't need to do this as often as you will with a bare steel bar like the Rogue B&R bar. But like I said, I'll show you how to run through that. A couple of things that you're going to need today. First thing, you're going to need some oil. So just some 3-in-1 oil. You can get this in any hardware store. Super cheap. 3-in-1 oil. You're going to need that. You're going to need a brush. You get a lot of different options with brush. So what I would recommend is go with a nylon bristle brush. You can go with, there's other brushes out there. There's stuff like a brass bristle brush, heavier metal brushes. The problem with that is when you start to go with those heavier metal brushes, if you have a lot of oxidation in your barbell, you might need that to get that out. But the problem with that is once you start to use those heavier metal brushes, like a brass bristle brush, tongue twister, the problem is that might be stronger than the steel on your barbell. So you could have some damage to your bar. A nylon bristle brush is going to do the job. This one's just from Rogue. But you could go find a nylon bristle brush, same thing, at any hardware store, or there's even some places online that sell them. Like I said, this is going to be a must. Find a nylon bristle brush, that'll get the job done. You're also going to need some sort of rag, and then you might need some shop towels too as well, but you'll definitely need a rag. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're just going to take the chalk out of the last session with the rag. So just get in, get some of that surface area chalk out. There's just a little bit in there. Basically, you're just taking off whatever chalk was left in there on that last one. Alright. Once you get kind of that surface chalk out, take your brush and you're going to go in and you're going to get the just kind of the surface of that oxidation off. So we're not going to add any oil yet. We're just going to take that brush. We're just going to kind of go over and get some of the top layer of oxidation off. Works really well when you put the bar up on your J-cup. It just kind of spins. You don't have to roll around and fall on the ground. Like I said, just going over the top of the bar. Just go from the whole length of the barbell. Just take some of that top layer off. All right, so now that we got any of kind of the surface area chalk out, any of the kind of the top layer of rust off, you can already see the bar's already looking better. Now this is where the oil is going to come handy. So we're going to take that 3-in-1 oil. We're just going to apply a really light coat on top of the bar. And then from there, we're going to go back with that brush and we're going to work some of the deeper layers of the oxidation and the rust out. So like I said, just a light coat. We'll start off on the edge. Put a light coat on there. You can always add some more. You're going to go back in with your brush. This is where you're really going to work that oil into the bar. And let the oil do its trick. get some of that rust and oxidation out of there. So I usually like to do this, I'll divide it up into sections. So I'll start off from the middle of the shaft where the knurling starts out to kind of like the first or second ring. Really work on just that small area. Brushing back and forth, really working the oil into a specific spot. And then you can go from that first ring to the outer part of the shaft. You can work on the middle if you have a center knurling. And then you can go to the opposite side. But it helps just kind of take it one section at a time. That way you can focus on really getting into the bar and hopefully getting as most rust as you can out of that bar and taking that deeper layer of oxidation off that bar. So work on this. I'll go from here to here, do the center, I'll do the left, and then we can see the final results. All right, so I've gone through and put oil on pretty much the entire barbell. It's been about 5 minutes. Going over it and brushing some spots out. Like I said, just taking it by sections. The last thing you're going to do, you're going to take that rag that you have and you're just going to wipe off any of the oil that was on that bar, and you're going to start to see the change in that barbell. So taking that oil off, kind of got rid of all that oxidation, and you can already see this bar looks dramatically different than it did when we started. Now, if you really have a lot of oxidation in that bar, you're gonna need to spend a little more time. So I would carve out, half hour to go into the bar, and you're really gonna have to get in there. Like I said, you might even need a harder steel brush than that nylon. Like I said, especially if you have a lot of oxidation and rust, you might need a heavier brush than just that nylon. But for most people, the nylon is going to get the job done if you stay up with the barbell. You don't want to leave the barbell with a bunch of chalk in there. From that chalk, there's going to be all that moisture from your hands. It's just going to sit in the knurling. And that moisture is just going to get into the barbell, and that's what's going to cause that oxidation. So if you're letting your barbell go 3, 6, 9 months, a full year without cleaning it, you're going to need to spend a lot of time, and you're going to need a pretty heavy brush to get all that oxidation out there. It can come off. It's just going to take a little elbow grease and some time. But if you stay up with it, every couple of weeks or so, it's something that it's going to keep your barbells looking good without the oxidation and that rust. And actually, just the knurling already feels better. So there's not as much chalk and oxidation between the grip of my hands. I can feel that bare steel again, and it already feels better than it did before I started this. So do your upkeep with your barbells. Like I said, especially if you're spending a lot of money on your barbells, you want to make sure that they look good. I love the feel of the bare steel, but it just takes a lot of upkeep. So just keep that in mind when you're buying a barbell. Are you somebody that you're going to take care of your barbell, you're going to clean it often, then yeah, you can get away with the bare steel. Or if you're, maybe you're in a controlled environment, like I said, you can get away with having a bare steel bar. If you're somebody that 6 months, 9 months, 12 months is going to pass without cleaning your barbell, I would opt for other options than a bare steel barbell. I will look at your Cerakote options, which is going to be the least corrosive. Things like an E-coat, black oxide, stuff like that, where it's just going to help your barbell not rust and oxidize as fast. So, all right, this has been a video on how to clean your barbell. Stay tuned for other barbells. We've got other videos. We have some pretty cool videos coming up. We're getting some new equipment that I'm going to be doing full breakdowns on. Like I said, I'm basically just on this channel going to go over a bunch of fitness videos, a bunch of workout equipment reviews. I'm going to take you through workout sessions, and then just go through a whole bunch of different reviews on fitness equipment. So stay tuned. Like I said, check us out at figureinapparel.com with men's and women's line. I'll leave the link in the description. Stay tuned for the next video.